Welcome into Three Questions with Ivan Maisel, where Ivan brings his insight on all things college football to us on a weekly basis. Ivan, got a big one this week, the Red River Rivalry, whatever kind of phrasing you want to put to it. We got a rivalry game, Texas and Oklahoma. No shortage of storylines coming into this game, but which ones are you particularly looking at as we get kicked off here soon?
JD, to me, it's will Oklahoma live up to the name on the front of the jersey? That's the big one. I mean, these are two teams, both unranked, first time since 1998. Which to me means the corn dogs won't be, quite as greasy, and the show chickens won't be quite as good looking at the fair this year. But still, should be a pretty good game. Oklahoma's got big issues. They got big issues stopping the ball. The defense is they're giving up 200 yards a game on the ground. The offense has sputtered a little bit. It's just it does not look like an Oklahoma team, plain and simple.
And if the show chickens aren't looking as good, I hope the game doesn't sacrifice because of that. But I'm with you. I mean, the mystique around this game, for those at least that aren't Texas or Oklahoma fans, maybe their attention is elsewhere as there's a ton of good games this weekend. But I'm with you. This game itself, I think, it feels like, at least for me, this could be a turning point for both teams in their season, whether Texas were to win and kind of gather some momentum and maybe make a statement to the rest of the college football landscape. And for Oklahoma, if you lose 3 straight, I don't think that's the last time that you drop a game the rest of the year. So there's a lot at stake, obviously, for both teams. And with a rivalry game, emotionally charged is probably a light term to put to it. But talking about Texas, Quinn Ewers came out in that game against Alabama and lived up to the hype for about a quarter. I mean, he was dealing against one of the best teams in the country, and sounds like those expectations for the Wonderkind are just continuing to rise. How big of a deal would it be for Texas to get him back in this game?
Well, it would be a big deal. Of course, he's the starting quarterback, won the job. But how much of Quinn Ewers are you getting back? Are you getting 100% back? Are you getting 85% back? Nobody knows. I'm not sure that Sark knows what they're going to have until they actually get out there Saturday morning. So I think obviously it will help. Obviously, this is a defense ripe for picking. But we don't know we don't know which Quinn Ewers we're going to get till we get there.
You said it perfectly. This defense feels, in a lot of ways, ripe for the picking. But the setup is just beautiful to me. Like Quinn Ewers, the highly touted recruit, comes back to Texas, and then he comes into the game in the Red River Rivalry. He's got the mullet to go with the Texas flair. Like, there's a lot of things lining up that are very poetic about this game. So I'm excited to see what happens. But with Steve Sarkisian's offensive acumen, I think it could be concerning for Oklahoma in this game. So with that being the lead into this question, how concerned are you, or what are your thoughts, rather, about Brent Venables after these last 2 losses? Would a win like this stop the bleeding potentially for Oklahoma?
Well, it would certainly quiet critics, and it would quiet grumbling. It feels like the issues are a little deeper than one game can fix. I mean, they are just they don't look like an Oklahoma team right now. Brent Venables understands that. He was at Oklahoma a long time. He knows what the standard is. They lost more than they got back in the transfer portal. We're all just figuring that out, and it's a struggle right now. The defense is just not very good, and TCU embarrassed them. I mean, plain and simple. And I think there was even some surprise at TCU. If you listen to what Sonny Dykes said after the game, I mean, I think they were a little surprised that it went as easy as it went in beating Oklahoma 55-24. So there's some issues there. A win over Texas would do a lot emotionally, but it would have to, they would have to play well enough that X and O wise, they would begin to answer questions, to move on with any sense of confidence after Saturday.
Because that was sort of the whole pitch when you brought Brent Venables in, right? Like, there was a lot of excitement. He's an Oklahoma guy. He gets the culture. And I think that's still 100% true. But the calling card for him was the defense, right? Like, he's a defensive coordinator from Clemson, has done a lot of great things there, called some great defenses. He's going to be the guy that finally brings the defensive edge back to Norman. And thus far in the year, like you mentioned, TCU really just handed it to them. Adrian Martinez and company at Kansas State handed it to them at home, no less, in Norman. So I'm 100% with you for this game. If they could win it somehow, and there's definitely not out of the question with it being a rivalry game, and it would be exactly like college football for Oklahoma to have a huge, comeback effort of sorts and be able to win this game. But I think it's crucial for morale for them to be able to kind of steady the ships and get a win this week against Texas. But leading into that thought, do you have a side you like in this game in Red River?
Yeah, I mean, I like Texas. Because of Oklahoma's defensive issues, they're giving up 70 yards more on the ground than they did last year. And Bijan Robinson is one of the top backs in the country. I think Texas has got too much offense for Oklahoma.
It just feels like the script is set up just right for Texas, the offensive-minded Texas, to take advantage of the seemingly right now, at least, defensively inept Oklahoma. But the beautiful part about it, they're going to roll the ball out there on the Cotton Bowl, and we'll get to see it all unfold. Well, Ivan, thank you, as always, for jumping on here, dropping some knowledge on us. Folks, if you haven't yet, you know the drill. Follow Ivan on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, and we will continue to bring content like this to you on a weekly basis. Ivan, as always, thank you so much, and have a great weekend. Hey, y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.